teaching how to do a gram stain.
So for a gram stain, either end up pink or purple, and the purple stains are gram-positive, which means they're susceptible to penicillin.
Also, if they end up pink, that means that they are gram-negative, and other measures have to be taken to treat that type of bacterial infection. So to start off a gram stain, you just make a regular smear like we showed you how to do in our basic staining video.
Make sure it's labeled with your name, the date if it fits, and the type of bacteria.
And the first thing we're going to do is make sure there are no open flames, because the chemicals we're working with today are highly flammable. So first what we're going to do, we're going to take our crystal violet, and we're going to flood the bacteria sample with a couple drops. We're going to do it over the sink to make sure that we don't stain anything, because this will stain skin and our beautiful lab coats. And we're just going to hold it there for a minute. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
After it's sat for 1 minute, you're going to rinse it off with distilled water.
You don't want to rinse too much, because you might accidentally wash off. Is it upside down?
Oh.
Okay. You might accidentally wash off the bacteria and your stain that's left over.
And just shake it to dry a little bit. Might want to let it sit to dry.
You don't have to let it dry too much, though. And then after you've rinsed it, we're going to take some gram iodine, and we're going to put another couple drops on there, and we're going to wait 30 seconds for that to take hold. Seconds, you're going to take your distilled water again and rinse off the gram iodine again into our sinks to make sure we don't stain anything. These are very nice counters we have here at the TJ Science Show facilities. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to decolor it with our 95% ethanol. And what you want to do is you're going to keep dropping it on until the ethanol runs clear. Because if you go for too little, you're going to leave residual dye that's not supposed to be there. But if you go too long, then you might actually rinse off the dye that was adhering to the bacteria in the first place. So we're just going to put some drops on there. And that looks just a few more. Shake it off a little bit occasionally. Cool.
One more drop.
Could you tilt it a little flatter, like this way? There you go.
I think it's clear.
All right, I think that's
Yep.
running clear.
That's running clear.
Amazing. What you're gonna do, you're gonna give it another quick rinse, just a squirt or two. And we're gonna take our saffron in next, which is, this is testing for if it's a negative for gram.
We're going to flood it with saffron and then let it sit for 1 minute.
About 5 drops usually does the trick. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're just going to let that sit over our sink for another minute. You put your saffron on there and let it sit for a minute. We're going to take our distilled water again, because it's very sterile. We're not going to contaminate this.
So we're going to wash it off with distilled water.
Yeah. Just trying to be sciencey, Tori. Just going to squirt that. And we're going to get some blotting paper, which we have right over here.
Lens paper, and make sure that you don't scratch the slide or remove any bacteria.
Just going to dab it. This is the best way to dry it, so that way you don't smear the bacteria or the other little dyes that you have on there. Get the other side too, so that way you're not having dye showing through the bottom.
Edit that out.
So now that we have our prepared slide, you can look at it under a microscope and determine whether it's gram-positive or negative. We happen to be doing amyloideus, which should come out as a positive stain. Yeah.
So it should look purple under observation in the microscope.
Happy sciencing!